What's happening, gamers? It's KMEGA 405 live from the 405, where I'm just your regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers. Now, there has not been any secret after a couple of weeks that you're hearing that Microsoft is wanting to acquire some studios. Now, which studios are there? Because this list is getting bigger and bigger. Some of these names is just outrageous. I just don't see it happening at all. Some are pretty interesting and have some potential. But let's start off with the one everybody's already heard of, and that is EA. And Electronic Arts, huge. If Xbox could, or I should say Microsoft, acquire them, that's billions of dollars that they have to pay. It's not nothing they can't do. They have the money. But would they want all of those IPs? They could make a lot of big moves with the sports franchises. They can decide what they want to do, content, all of that. They could really shake up the gaming industry by having that control. But as we would know, it's all about making money, so they would still keep the sports franchises to be multi-plat. Again, I don't think it's going to happen that way. I do think that they might have an opportunity to take some studios away from EA if EA is not willing to is willing to just let them go. I mean, I don't think that they'll get rid of Respawn. That would be a good look, because Titanfall still feels to me like it's an Xbox game, regardless that it's a multi-plat now. And then also you have the one everybody would be anticipating, and that is Bioware. Bioware just seems to be the perfect fit for Microsoft, especially with that sci-fi feel when you got Halo, and it'll be complemented with with a new Mass Effect, even though Andromeda didn't do very well. But if you get some people that's really excited about it and reinvigorated, I think that it would come back stronger than ever. Hell, you can even bring back Shepard. That would just be dope. Also, you have Dragon Age, you have KOTOR, you have Jade Empire. I mean, the list goes on of great games that they had that was on the Xbox as exclusives. And man, that would just be I think that would be just perfect. There wouldn't be nothing else that they would have to acquire from EA, in my opinion. So let's move on from that. Let's go on to a couple of more of these names on this list. This is crazy to me because it just isn't going to happen, and that is Ubisoft. Ubisoft has found its place now. It's found its footing. It would be fantastic, but again, what you're talking about is how much money would you have to pay to acquire Ubisoft, and especially as they're killing it. The Far Cry 5 franchise seems to be coming back with Far Cry 5. Assassin's Creed is made a big comeback, especially since they took some time off. Everybody is loving Origin. You look at Rainbow Six, you look at The Division, you look at Ghost Wildlands. I mean, there's just so many IPs that they have, big and small, that's actually doing well, not steep. And you know what I'm saying? And then they're coming back with The Crew 2, which I think that's going to be a lot better. But thinking that Microsoft could acquire them, or they would want to be acquired, it's just not going to happen. So scratch them off the list. Now, the next one is pretty interesting because it would be a great look for Microsoft, but I just don't see this one really happening, and that is CD Projekt Red. And it would be great because, of course, you guys know that I love The Witcher, but still. And then this game, Cyberpunk 2077, that looks pretty interesting. It looks like it's going to be another great game for them. I put this studio up here with the elites, but again, they're kind of one of those studios that takes their time with their games, which is nothing wrong. So it's kind of like the Kojima studio. You'll have forever to take a game. It'd be great to be a part of the Xbox portfolio, but again, how beneficial would it be at the end of the day? So be a great look, and I would like that, but I don't see that happening. So let's scratch that off. Then we're moving to Epic Games. And yeah, these have been names that's been on this list, and it's kind of crazy to me, but again, it could be a possibility. Epic Games, they have some the well-known game right now is Fortnite, but to me, I just don't see that even happening because of the fact that if Microsoft is trying to acquire Bluehole or PUBG, it would kind of offset one another, and it just doesn't seem like it would match. There'll be just almost too many shooters for the Xbox brand to support. So, I mean, they can support as many shooters as they want to, but it's kind of like you're eating your own, because you have Halo, you have all the rest of the multi-plats, then you have, all these other, and then Fortnite. No, it just doesn't seem like a good look. Plus Gears, no, I just don't see that. So let's just scratch out Epic Games. Then you have Studio MDHR. which is the company that made Cuphead. I think that's more reasonable. I think that that's a deal that's already being worked on. It would be smart because, you know, we don't really hear too much about Sony acquiring anything, but I could see them trying to make a move on this studio, especially as popular as Cuphead is. So I think Microsoft is already signing that check right now for them. Then you got Hidden Path Entertainment, which is the studio that makes Age of Empire, or Age of Empire 2. I think that that's a deal that could be definitely worked on because I really do think that they want to put Age of Empires on the Xbox. I think that's the whole reason for talking. That's one big reason for the mouse and keyboard add on to the Xbox, and I think that would just be great because, I mean, I would play that game. I enjoy playing, RTSs. And I've played Halo Wars 2 on my PC, and then I play it on my television. And of course, it looks a lot crispier on my monitor, but it's just something about playing a game on a television is just a lot better to me. I'm just a console guy. So yeah, I would buy Age of Empires for Xbox in a heartbeat. So I think that that's some potential there. I think that could be something that could definitely happen. Another one is Valve. No chance. Now, if they could do something to where they say, look, man, we can buy a couple of games off of you. Left 4 Dead, it's a no-brainer. Bring it back. Or even if you could try to bring Half-Life 3, but I think Valve will always hold Half-Life 3 as a, as that crutch for people to get it, for people to keep getting excited about it, hoping that Valve will bring it. But Left 4 Dead, I don't know if it's going to ever come back. I mean, we would love it to, so if Xbox could try to acquire something else or maybe work out a deal for PC, that would be cool, but that's not happening. They're not getting Valve. Then the next one is IO Interactive, which has Hitman. Now that was something that my boy Crap and then was bringing up before, and it would make perfect sense. Now it's crazy because they kept the IP from Square Enix, but I guess they just looked at Hitman as like one of them games that just is going to die in obscurity. But Hitman is really good, so I think that it would be really good, especially as a single player game that has a lot, especially when it's episodic like that. It would be a great game to go into Game Pass. It would have a lot of potential in that area. Especially, that was the one reason why I didn't buy the game right off the bat, because I didn't want that game pay $60 for episodes when I want to go through the game and get excited about it and I want to beat the whole thing. I don't know about that, but if it was part of Game Pass, then hey, it's all for it. I think it's a smart idea. I think a lot of games like that's going to go that route. So so go ahead, Microsoft, go ahead and get that. I think that would be a good look for them. Then this was pretty interesting too. This was Bungie. Now, look, Bungie is locked down until 2020. They got to make 4 games in total, plus DLC that will probably range past 2020, and by that time there'll probably be a new contract to be signed. And then I just don't see Bungie really wanting to deal with big companies if they can go on their own, and especially going back to Microsoft, what would that look like between them and 343? Because me personally, I like the direction of where 343 is going, but it would be a good look for Microsoft to have that different type of look for a Halo game to be like a side game like they wanted to do in the first place. The possibilities could be great, but then it also could be a disaster at the same time. I'm just saying no, I'm scratching that. I don't see Bungie ever coming back to Xbox, but people can dream, I guess. But anyway, last but not least is one more company that just kind of came out of the blue after seeing these tweets this past weekend, and that is Sega. That is one reason why I'm showing all these games. Now, I do know that Power Stone is with Capcom, but everybody knows that Power Stone is synonymous with the Dreamcast, and there is a big rumor that's going on that Dreamcast games will be coming to the Xbox in some kind of form. Don't know if it'll be back compat, don't know if it will be through Game Pass, don't know. But also there's more rumblings going on about maybe Microsoft would try to acquire Sega. And big shout out to my girl Delilah HD, or I should say UHD High Fiber, because of the internet speeds that she has now. Man, it's crazy what her speeds are now. But anyway, 800 up, 800 down. Jesus. But regardless, it's kind of crazy because they're only 380 million to acquire. That is a lot cheaper rate than trying to get EA, which is billions. And let's just say hypothetically, because a lot of this is hypothetical, that they would kill two birds with one stone by acquiring Sega. One, you get a whole bunch of classic IPs, you get a gang of IPs, and two, you crush that whole narrative about Japanese games because they would have some of the best, you know. And a lot of people don't remember or have forgotten that Sega owns Atlus, which means Atlus is makes Persona series, they make Bayonetta, Yakuza, and those games will probably still definitely come on to the PlayStation and PC, but those games would also come on the Xbox. Now, for those that's not really interested in Japanese games, still, who cares? That's still a fantastic look if they work on some kind of deal. And there could be some kind of deal to where those games can still come to the Xbox as well, because believe it or not, Sega and Microsoft has had great relationship over time, especially going with the Dreamcast. You can look on the back of your Dreamcast, if you still have one, and see Microsoft on the back of the console where you plug in your internet. And they were supposed to work on another Dreamcast called Uranus, but it didn't happen, and then voila, the Xbox was made. It's crazy all about the gaming history, but of course, Sega and Microsoft working together to do something, who knows? It would be great if there would be some kind of acquirement for a couple of IPs that Sega just don't want to mess with, like this game here, Vanquish. Wow, it'd be dope. There's just so much potential, and we know that Xbox is trying to make big power moves, and you know, for a company that's supposedly been struggling in this console war, supposedly they wouldn't be acquiring anything. You got to look at it with common sense. They have got the Havoc engine. They have been getting cloud studios and developers and acquiring all different type of things that's pertaining to gaming, on top of now trying to gather studios. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts about it. Which studio do you think these guys, I know Capcom could definitely be one, but I'd like to hear your thoughts because this was very interesting and I wanted to share it with you. Everybody have a good one. Peace.
Get back on track.